Welcome back, everybody, to my 9th episode of my Starlight Drive settlement build here. Yeah, get rid of those things. Kind of down. Continue building another house coming off this area. Kind of fill out the empty spaces that I have currently on in between my boardwalk area and my other building and the diner, actually. Continue on with my different shaped houses. I'm not going to bother to line this up with the other houses like I have in the past. I'm just going to customize the height on this one. Was recording another episode last night, and inside the building to the left on the I wanted to keep the building, but at the same time I wasn't really happy with what was going on the inside. So I actually built a nightclub, and I think one of the reasons why I kind of spawned off of that decision was I tried putting some neon under some of my shops, or at least over on my shops. For some reason, this was at the point where I knew I had some issues with a mod or two, so I wanted to try and fix them. Well, it turns out one of the mods was actually causing the neon to kind of flake out on me. I tried placing some neon, the neon would go down, but I didn't like it, so I ended up deleting it. As soon as I deleted it, my game crashed. I was like, well, that is not good, so I decided to kind of play around. And the reason being was because when Wasteland Workshop came out, settlement keywords and some of the other, I think it was Homemaker and something else I was using, they didn't have asset numbers for the Wasteland Workshop because it hadn't been out yet. This is one of the eternal struggles that you can run into from time to time when dealing with mods on these games. When Bethesda puts out a new patch, this is my OCD work coming on here. I gotta get this set up right, otherwise, I don't know, it just bugs me. I don't like how the planks fit together when they're not lining up properly because it creates a different color. Got that one, I just need to fix that one. Some of the problems is whenever Bethesda puts out a new patch or a DLC, new assets get put into the game, and usually with any DLC or patch, those always take precedent to any mods that you might have installed. So whatever mods had certain asset numbers are basically their asset numbers essentially get stolen away from them because the DLC or the patch take precedent. Well, sometimes it just dorks everything up. In this case, when the DLC came out, Homemaker and Settlement Keywords, which I had stated in one of my previous episodes about how it works, and how it basically just opens up new assets for you. The the DLC Workshop, those items were not even showing up in the list. So a couple of different mod makers were making different patches, and the patch that I got specifically for one was not working for me, so I had to basically find a different one, and found one, and it works wonders now. So I'm able to get all this stuff from the DLC and don't have any more issues. So I didn't go crazy with the neon, but I did actually add some stuff. I ended up putting like the name of a street on one of the houses. This is when I decided to, you know what, I want to use one of these corner pieces. Hadn't used one before, so I figured I wanted to try it out. Looking at it now, it's pretty ratty, but it's fine. I think if I find out I can even add stuff to it. Although I'm kind of curious now, looking at it, kind of takes away from it, but it's fine. I ended up putting house numbers on each of the houses, and I decided I wanted to try and use some of those little goofy hanging colored lights. And I went kind of crazy with some of the decorating in the club because I figured, you know, I'm making it now. I want to get it out of the way. I didn't want to wait until later to decorate it, so I went through and added a couple things in there that were, it's pretty cool, I think. Some strobe lights, you know, the mirror ball, that kind of thing. And it was really funny because as soon, and I mean as soon as I finished it, it was getting dark, which also helped because of the lights, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's inside. But sometimes you can still tell, obviously, when it gets dark at night. Putting the lights up when it's dark actually helps you figure out what kind of lighting you want to do. As soon as I finished it, lo and behold, all my settlers had to come check it out. It's like they knew something was new, and I don't know if they're attracted to those kind of things. I think Bethesda programmed them that way to kind of give them an after dark kind of nightlife kind of scenario to it. Almost every single one of my settlers congregated to this new nightclub, and it was actually pretty funny. Obviously, nobody was dancing around or anything, but just everybody wanted to come and check it out, and it was just thought it was pretty interesting. Put a bar in there and some tables, chairs, some booths for people to sit at. Decorated it with I have this other mod. It's called OCD. Well, actually, OC Director is what it's actually called, but they use the the D from Director and the D from OCD, so OC Director or Decorator. Sorry, OC Decorator. And what it does, instead of actually taking a piece of equipment out of your inventory, dropping it on the ground, and trying to pick it up and place it somewhere, which is fine and dandy, but as we all know, sometimes the settlers will knock those things over, or you'll leave and you'll come back and shit is strewn all over the place. Well, what the OC Decorator does for you is it turns those items, because it uses the items out of your inventory. So whenever you put an item down, it takes it out like you would normally do if you took it out and just dropped it on the ground. But it places it so that it does not move, which was actually really nice. So you can place things on tables and countertops. So it's actually pretty cool. But I added some colored lights in there. A neon sign, you know, like when you first walk into the club. Put a jukebox in there, of course. Obviously, no dancing music in there. I think it's probably just playing classical music or some shit. I guess it'd be kind of like one of the most boring clubs. But just trying to find the right light. So I guess let me know in the comments if you feel like doing that. I know I don't have that many subscribers right now, but it's always nice if somebody leaves a comment. How do you feel about the quality of the video, the audio, any of those situations? Just go ahead and leave me a comment. Tell me if you want me to, if you think I need to work on something else, let me know. I don't mind editing, I love it, so. Or even some design choices if you feel that, okay, this looks kind of dumb, maybe you ought to change this. I'll take the criticism. If I agree with you, I would most likely change it. If I feel kind of indifferent about it, I'd probably still change it. But obviously, if I really like something, I'll take it into effect. Just being realistic. And I know I had stated that, and I have built it, I still need to decorate it and probably do some other things. my luxury towers at Outpost Samoja, I want to release it, but at the same time I want to try and finish these out before I actually release it. This is episode 9, and currently right now I have it's like 12 or 14 episodes that I've written, or at least I've put into Vegas and I've saved the timeline. I just need to voice it over. And for anyone wondering why I'm recording and then voicing over, I just feel a little bit more comfortable this way doing it. And also there is, at least I think, there's some technical issues, and I don't know if it's specific. And I don't know if it's specific to NVIDIA Shadowplay that I'm using to record these episodes, or if it's something that is a conflict between Shadowplay and Fallout. I have a 5-point surround sound system on my computer. That's how I normally always play the game. And when I was doing my survival beta episodes, I had some real issues trying to get everything to line up. I got a new condenser mic, I got an amplifier for it, so it's a good mic. Had it all plugged in, and I plugged in some headphones so the mic wasn't picking up the game audio. Well, when that happened, it was a one-way streak. It was either if I left it on 5-point surround sound and just plugged in the headphones, I could no longer hear any voice dialogue from any of the NPCs. Well, in survival mode, I kind of needed to hear what they were saying, because they were the earlier levels, and sometimes I don't remember exactly everything that was going on in the earlier levels. I mostly remember mid to late levels. So it was really frustrating trying to play the game, and in some cases, the recording could hear it, but I couldn't hear it while I was playing, and since I was voicing live, it just wasn't working right. So I changed my audio system on the computer to just stereo, played through the headphones. Then I could hear it. I can hear all the voice dialogue, but it was weird. It was like it was coming from a channel that wasn't there. I had to almost turn the camera in certain angles to hear the dialogue. But once it was recorded, everybody could hear my voice, but there was no more game audio in the recordings. It was a real headache. So I figured, you know what? And at the time also, there was a lot of walking around, and I just thought it was very boring for other people to just sit there and watch me walk from one place to another when there wasn't anything going on, because the spawn rates in survival were severely dragged out. Once you cleared an area, that place was cleared for a good long while. It's not like in the normal gameplay, you know, it's like you wait a day or two in game, you go back, or it's probably longer than that, obviously, but you wait a couple days and you come back and they're there. And in survival mode, that timer is stretched out quite a bit more. Once you clear an area, it's cleared for a long time. I think they did it that way for a reason, so that you weren't constantly being berated by raiders and stuff like that out in the open. So this allowed me to fast forward in certain areas and basically edit and clip those areas out. And I figured if I was talking while playing and I went back and edited those areas, the stories or what I was talking about, or the conversations, or not conversations, but what I was saying to the camera would not make any sense, because all of a sudden it would be clipped for I don't know how many minutes that I was running, or however long it was. So I felt it kind of pulled disbelief away. So, which I guess is fine if you're doing one constant stream, or if you're streaming per se. I just didn't feel comfortable with doing it that way. Plus, this allows me to pause recording whenever I need to. I can edit certain functions out that something might arise in the background. Dog might come in and bark. Might hear the TV in the background or something like that from the other room. This allows me to take those areas out, pause, record, edit, that kind of stuff. I like the editing functions, so I just find this a bit more comfortable for me to do. Plus, with this, I can raise the mic levels, the audio levels, and lower the in-game volume level so that you can hear me better. Let me know if that's a good thing or not. You don't like my voice, you don't like my voice. But anyway, that's the other thing. You can edit out things that you don't like hearing yourself say too many times. Make somebody, make somebody sound better than what they really sound like. I don't use any kind of equalizer settings or anything like that. I know that you could probably do that, but I don't have the equipment. I guess I could probably do it with a program, but I don't have any hard equipment like my camera. Sorry, my microphone's not plugged in an equalizer or anything like that. So what you're hearing is actually my voice. I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but does anybody else feel that their own voice, you don't really feel like it doesn't really sound like you? Whenever I hear my voice recorded, to me it sounds weird. Maybe I just don't like the sound of that. Kind of freaked me out there. Told the guy to go in there and turn around. Okay, where'd he go? And I turn around again. It's like it looked like the guy was sitting down, but as soon as I turned around, he was there. I was like, well, that's kind of weird. But anyway, I don't know. It sounds weird to me hearing my own voice. I've always felt that way. I've always said, do I really sound that way? Guess it's true. I'll be wrapping this episode up here in a minute or two. Just wanted to check to see if there's anything else I needed to add. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to add another storefront there, but I think I have all the stores all covered up. I have the clothing, I have the armor, I have the weapons, I have the clinic. I have 2 restaurant bar type things. And I know I play with a couple things here, but I am going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. So as I said, if you have any comments, leave them below. And if you're not subscribed and you want to see other videos,